Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. If you want a woman to respect you, you gotta have some boundaries. Not just rules, standards. See, women don't respect a man who bends for everything and everybody. They respect a man who stands firm, but stands with purpose. If you want a woman to respect you, you cannot, and I mean cannot, lose yourself trying to please her. That's one of the biggest mistakes men make. You meet a woman,
See, women are wired
to
test
walk,
you,
not
talk,
in a mean way, but
everything about her pulling
they
you
want
in,
to see what
and
you're
before
made
you
of.
know it, if you really
you're
that
doing
man
things
you
that
say
ain't
you are.
even you. So when you start changing your
Now,
business so
don't get it
far
twisted.
trying
I'm
to
not
make
saying
her
don't
happy
be kind
that you
just to
get
get
into
into
her
her
life,
that's
and here's
part
the
of
truth.
being a good man.
The
She's
moment
taking
you start
line
mentoring that,
note.
the respect
And once
you
you
had
might
for
not
you
say it,
start
but you think,
thinking,
let me give you an
your
example.
identity
Say you're a
is
man who gets
call
up
what
every
else
day at
will
5
find
a.m.
you
to hit
in
the
trouble.
gym.
Because
You might think you're
fitness
doing
is
it
part
out
of
of
your
love,
discipline.
but what
man
keeps
who
you
sees
sharp?
his
Purpose.
weakness is part of your mental edge.
A man who knows where he's going.
You meet a woman,
wakes
she
up with
says,
a
"Why you
plan,
got to get up so
who's
early?
focused,
Just stay in
who's
bed
driven.
with me." And you
That
start
kind of
skipping
man
workouts to cuddle. Don't switch up because somebody
That sounds
smiled
sweet
at him.
on
He
paper,
stayed
but guess what?
rooted. Eventually, she's going to look at you and say, "He ain't as focused as I thought." Another one, maybe you're grinding hard, building your business, stacking your paper, building your empire. She says, "You always working, you never make time for me." Now, I ain't saying ignore her, but if you start ditching your work every time she wants attention, what message are you sending? You're saying her emotions can override your mission. And that's a dangerous game, because you stop looking like a man with a vision and start looking like a man who can be led. Women don't want a man they can lead, they want a man they can follow. They want a man they can trust to stay grounded. And let me say this, the very things that attracted her to you, your confidence, your ambition, your independence, those are the things you got to protect. That's the you she respected in the first place. So if you let go of all that just to make her comfortable, you're giving her a different man, and not in a good way. It's not about being stubborn, it's about being centered. A woman respects a man who knows himself, who loves her without losing him. She admires a man who can say, "Baby, I love spending time with you, but I gotta stay true to what I'm building. I'll make time for you, but I won't abandon me in the process." That's sexy, that's leadership. That's how respect is earned and kept. And I promise you, the moment you draw that line, when you say, "This is who I am, this is what I stand for, and I'm not changing that for anyone," she'll step back and look at you differently. She'll see you not as a boy chasing love, but a man who commands respect. She might pout at first, she might push back, but deep down she's thinking, he's the real deal. So remember, don't perform, don't pretend, don't become a yes man just to keep the peace. If you keep changing your colors like a chameleon, she's going to start wondering if you ever had a spine to begin with. Keep your core intact. Let her know, this is what I value, this is how I move, and I want you beside me, not in front of me, not behind me, beside me, as I continue to walk in my purpose. Because the truth is, a woman will only respect the man who respects himself enough not to shrink for her comfort. And once she respects you, everything else falls into place. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. If you want a woman to respect you, you can't ever, and I mean ever, tolerate disrespect, not even once. You let it slide that first time, you're sending a silent message that says, it's okay to talk to me like that, or you can play me like that and I'll still stick around. That's not strength. That's how you lose your dignity, inch by inch. Disrespect doesn't always come loud. Sometimes it's subtle, a slick comment, a sarcastic remark in front of her friends, flirting with another guy just to get a reaction out of you, testing your patience, challenging your intelligence, ignoring your boundaries. You got to pay attention, because if you ignore the little cracks in the wall, pretty soon the whole structure starts to fall apart. It's not about being controlling, it's about having standards. Now, hear me when I say this. A woman might test you, not because she wants to disrespect you, but because she wants to know where the line is. She wants to feel secure knowing that she's dealing with a man who knows what he stands for. A man who won't fold just because he's scared of losing her. That first time she steps out of line and you stay silent, that tells her, okay, he ain't gonna check me. And from there, it just grows. Disrespect grows when it's not corrected. That's why you gotta speak up. With love, yes, with calm, yes, but also with certainty. You don't yell, you don't curse, you don't act wild. You just look her in the eye and let her know, I don't allow that in my life. You can be upset, you can be emotional, but what you don't get to do is disrespect me. Let me break it down like this. You can't build a healthy relationship on top of disrespect. That's like trying to build a mansion on sand. It'll look good for a minute, but the moment pressure hits, the whole thing crumbles. A man who lets disrespect slide is the foundation, and if it's tested again, nothing else works. That's just human nature. Not love, if you give someone an inch, not intimacy, and you know what happens next? And if you don't check that walking around on eggshells, they'll walk all over you. You stop speaking your mind. That's not just in romantic relationships, that's life. You keep the peace. But in love, just to avoid arguments. It stings deeper, and over time, the person you lose your voice. You're supposed to be closest to stop being the man you were when she met you. That's a dangerous space to be in, because once you shrink yourself in a relationship, it's hard to grow back into the man you were. Now look, I'm not saying break up with a woman every time she slips up. Nobody's perfect. People say things in the heat of the moment. But there's a difference between someone who makes a mistake and someone who's made a habit out of talking to you sideways. If she respects you and you call her out on something that crossed a line, she'll check herself. She'll apologize. She'll try to do better. But if she flips it on you, gets defensive, or tells you you're too sensitive, that ain't someone who respects your boundaries. A woman of value respects a man who stands firm. She may push, she may challenge, but deep down she's watching for how you respond, not with aggression, but with strength, with clarity. She wants to know you can lead, not just in good times, but when things get tense. Can you still protect your peace? Can you still hold your frame? Can you still move with dignity? You teach her how to treat you when you show her that your respect is not for sale, not for love, not for sex, not for peace. Because the moment you sacrifice respect for comfort, you lose both. And once she loses respect for you, it's only a matter of time before love follows. So you stand on it every single time. Doesn't matter how pretty she is, how long you've been together, or how much you want to keep her. If she crosses the line, you check it respectfully but firmly. You let her know, I don't raise my voice, I don't insult, and I won't be insulted. If we're going to be in each other's lives, it's going to be built on mutual respect. That type of energy earns you something a lot of men never get. A woman who looks at you not just as her partner, but as a man she respects, trusts, and is proud to stand beside. Your peace is priceless. I mean that. And if you don't learn how to protect it, you're going to find yourself stressed out, burnt out, and worn out, all because you let too many people, including that woman you care about, treat your peace like it was optional. Let me make this real plain. A man without peace is a man who can't think straight, can't lead, and can't love properly. That's why this boundary right here is one of the most important ones you can set. Protect your peace at all costs. Now listen, peace don't mean silence. Peace don't mean avoiding people. Peace means clarity. It means knowing who you are, what you value, what you need to function at your highest level, and making sure no one, not even someone you love, can constantly throw chaos into your life and expect you to just accept it. Too many brothers out here think love means constant availability, that if she calls, you got to answer. If she texts, you got to drop what you're doing and reply. If she wants attention, you better give it right now or else you don't care. Nah, man, that's not love. That's pressure. That's performance. That's you walking around trying to earn peace instead of protecting it. Let's get this straight. A woman might want your time, your energy, your attention, and that's natural. But it's your job to create space in your life where you can think, where you can recharge, where your ideas come from, where you can work on your goals, that's where you regain focus. You're not a machine. That's how you make smart decisions. You're a man, and that's how you show up in your relationship as your best self. Ends up losing. When a woman starts trying to take all your time, blow up your energy, all your focus, it's not about pushing her away. It's about putting things in balance for too long. You tell her, baby, I love you, but I also need time to be with me. I need space to think. I need a moment to process, to build, to grow. And listen, if she respects you, she'll understand that. A grown woman who's secure in herself isn't going to compete with your peace. She's going to protect it with you. But if you find yourself with a woman who's always causing drama, always needing validation, always making you feel guilty for taking time for yourself, that's not love. That's control. And it's slowly draining the life out of you. Now, some of y'all might say, well, Steve, she just loves me. She just wants to feel close to me. I get that. But love that doesn't respect boundaries turns into dependence. And once that happens, you're not in a relationship, you're in a trap. You feel like you got to be everything all the time or else you're failing. That ain't peace, brother. That's pressure. And let me tell you, women can feel when a man ain't at peace. You might be physically present, but mentally somewhere else. You're quiet, withdrawn, frustrated, not yourself. That's because your soul is screaming for space. That's your spirit saying, I need a minute. And if you don't give yourself that time, everything starts to suffer, your mood, your energy, your work, your relationship. You show up, but you show up tired. So here's the move. You schedule your peace like you schedule everything else. You make it part of your life, whether it's going to the gym, reading, meditating, praying, walking, whatever it is that clears your head, you protect that time like it's sacred, because it is. And when your woman tries to interrupt that, you gently but firmly say, not right now. I need this time. I'll be back better for it. That kind of boundary doesn't create distance, it creates respect. It tells her this man is serious about himself. He ain't gonna let anyone, not even me, pull him off track. And guess what? That's attractive. That's the kind of strength a real woman admires. She sees you standing up for your well-being, and deep down, that tells her you can also stand up for her when the time comes. Don't let anybody make you feel guilty for needing space. Space doesn't mean disinterest. It means growth. It means health. It means maturity. And the right woman will get that. The wrong woman will fight it. And if she fights your peace more than she protects it, you need to think real hard about whether she deserves access to your life. A peaceful man is a powerful man. A man who protects his peace is a man who commands respect. And once a woman sees that you're not going to sacrifice your sanity to make her feel secure, she'll either rise to your level or show you she was never meant to be there in the first place. Let me tell you something that'll change how you carry yourself forever. You are the prize too. Yeah, I said it. A lot of men out here walking around like they lucky just to have a woman look their way, like she's the prize and they just happy to be in the room. That mindset? That's how you end up disrespected, overlooked, and unappreciated. Because when you don't recognize your own worth, no one else is going to treat you like you valuable. Now, don't get me wrong, you should absolutely appreciate a good woman. When you find a woman who respects you, supports you, loves you right, you cherish her. You treat her like a queen. But you don't lose your crown in the process. You don't shrink yourself or act like your presence is less important than hers. It's called mutual respect, mutual value. She's the prize, and so are you. See, a man who knows his worth walks different. He talks different. He moves like he got something to lose. He don't chase validation. He don't beg for attention. He don't tolerate disrespect just to keep someone around. He understands that his time, energy, and presence are valuable. He knows what he brings to the table, and he don't have to shout about it. He just lives it. But when a man doesn't know his worth, that's when things fall apart. That's when he overcompensates. That's when he starts trying to buy love with gifts, attention, favors, hoping she'll see his value through his effort. That's when he starts letting things slide that shouldn't slide, letting her talk crazy, letting her play games, letting her call all the shots just to keep her happy. But here's the truth. A woman can't respect a man who doesn't respect himself first. Let me give you an example. Say you're in a relationship, and every time she's upset, she threatens to leave. She plays emotional games, gives you the silent treatment, flirts with other guys just to get a reaction. And instead of drawing a line, you chase after her. Apologize when you ain't do nothing wrong. Try to fix it just to keep her from walking. You know what you're doing? You're teaching her that your self-respect is negotiable, that she can treat you any way she wants, and you'll still be there. That ain't love, that's manipulation. And a man who knows his worth don't move like that. He don't let fear of losing her make him lose himself. You got to ask yourself, what do I bring to the table? And don't just think material. I'm talking character, loyalty, integrity, discipline, vision, peace, leadership. Do you know how rare that is? A woman can find looks and money anywhere, but a man with substance, that's a different breed. And if you're that man, then you walk like it. You don't chase, you choose. You don't beg, you build. You don't ask for respect, you command it. And let me say this too, knowing your worth doesn't mean arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than anybody. It's about knowing that you don't have to tolerate less just to have someone. You don't have to stay where you're not appreciated. You don't have to overextend yourself to prove you're worthy. Your existence is proof. Your grind, your growth, your presence, that's enough. You ever seen a man who truly knows who he is? He don't do too much. He don't try too hard. He's calm, he's confident. He speaks when he needs to and listens when he doesn't. And when something don't feel right, he'll walk away, not out of pride, but out of principle. Because when you know your value, you don't stay where value isn't returned. A lot of y'all have been taught to chase, to win her over, to do whatever it takes to keep her. And while effort matters, dignity matters more. You can give effort without losing self-respect. You can love her deeply without letting her walk over you. You can pursue without becoming a puppet. Let me tell you what happens when you start acting like you're the prize too. Everything changes. She starts looking at you differently. She sees the way you move, how you're not desperate, how you're not easily shaken, how you're rooted in who you are. That energy, that's attractive. That's magnetic. That's what makes a woman think, he's not just lucky to have me, I'm lucky to have him. When you carry yourself like a man of worth, you naturally draw women who value men like you. Women who bring peace, not pressure. Women who see your light and don't try to dim it. Women who want to build with you, not control you. And that's what you deserve. But you'll only receive it once you start acting like you deserve it. Stop settling. Stop chasing people who don't recognize your greatness. Stop at the end of the day, flags, you know your worth, you want to be and walk in it. You don't have to force anything. Start by respecting yourself. The right one will recognize loyalty. Start by being loyal to your own standards. You want peace? Don't let nobody disturb your spirit. Even if she's fine, even if she's fun, even if you love her,